You are not being watched by cameras. You are being studied by people. The moment you step outside, you enter an unspoken arena where power is measured silently and weakness is noted instantly. Every word you speak, every emotion you leak, every explanation you offer becomes data. And without realizing it, you've been handing that data away for free. You believe openness makes you trustworthy. You think honesty earns respect. But history tells a darker truth. Those who reveal too much become predictable, and predictability is a liability. Power has never belonged to the loudest voice. It belongs to the one no one can read. If you feel overlooked, used, or underestimated, this is why. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Centuries ago, strategists understood something modern culture forgot: the mind must be protected. A fortress with open gates isn't brave, it's doomed. Yet today, people proudly expose their fears, plans, and insecurities, calling it authenticity. What they're really doing is removing their armor. When others know exactly how you think, what you want, and what hurts you, they don't need to attack, you've already disarmed yourself. Most reputations aren't destroyed by evil intentions but by excessive transparency. Information leaks weaken authority. Silence strengthens it. The goal isn't cruelty or deception. The goal is sovereignty. And sovereignty begins the moment you stop making yourself emotionally accessible to everyone who asks. But that's only the first leak that needs sealing. One of the fastest ways to lose power is announcing your next move. The modern world rewards broadcasting intentions, not executing them. You tell people you're starting something new, changing your life, building discipline, before anything exists. The praise feels good. The validation hits instantly. But the work quietly dies afterward. Worse, you've given observers a map. Even friends carry envy, doubt, or unconscious resistance. When your plans are public, interference becomes effortless. Silence keeps energy concentrated. Results speak louder than promises ever could. Those who disappear, improve quietly, and return transformed inspire far more respect than those who narrate every step. If you want to be taken seriously, move unseen. Because the most dangerous presence is the one nobody noticed building. One of the fastest ways to lose power is announcing your next move. The modern world rewards broadcasting intentions, not executing them. You tell people you're starting something new, changing your life, building discipline, before anything exists. The praise feels good. The validation hits instantly. But the work quietly dies afterward. Worse, you've given observers a map. Even friends carry envy, doubt, or unconscious resistance. When your plans are public, interference becomes effortless. Silence keeps energy concentrated. Results speak louder than promises ever could. Those who disappear, improve quietly, and return transformed inspire far more respect than those who narrate every step. If you want to be taken seriously, move unseen. Because the most dangerous presence is the one nobody noticed building. One of the fastest ways to lose power is announcing your next move. The modern world rewards broadcasting intentions, not executing them. You tell people you're starting something new, changing your life, building discipline, before anything exists. The praise feels good. The validation hits instantly. But the work quietly dies afterward. Worse, you've given observers a map. Even friends carry envy, doubt, or unconscious resistance. When your plans are public, interference becomes effortless. Silence keeps energy concentrated. Results speak louder than promises ever could. Those who disappear, improve quietly, and return transformed inspire far more respect than those who narrate every step. If you want to be taken seriously, move unseen. Because the most dangerous presence is the one nobody noticed building. One of the fastest ways to lose power is announcing your next move. The modern world rewards broadcasting intentions, not executing them. You tell people you're starting something new, changing your life, building discipline, before anything exists. The praise feels good. The The validation hits instantly. But the work quietly dies afterward. Worse, you've given observers a map. Even friends carry envy, doubt, or unconscious resistance. When your plans are public, interference becomes effortless. Silence keeps energy concentrated. Results speak louder than promises ever could. Those who disappear, improve quietly, and return transformed inspire far more respect than those who narrate every step. If you want to be taken seriously, move unseen. Because the most dangerous presence is the one nobody noticed building. One of the fastest ways to lose power is announcing your next move. The modern world rewards broadcasting intentions, not executing them. You tell people you're starting something new, changing your life, building discipline, before anything exists. The praise feels good. The validation hits instantly. But the work quietly dies afterward. Worse, you've given observers a map. Even friends carry envy, doubt, or unconscious resistance. When your plans are public, interference becomes effortless. Silence keeps energy concentrated. Results speak louder than promises ever could. Those who disappear, improve quietly, and return transformed inspire far more respect than those who narrate every step. If you want to be taken seriously, move unseen. Because the most dangerous presence is the one nobody noticed building. Gossip feels like bonding, but it poisons trust. The person who shares secrets proves they can't keep them. When you participate, your credibility erodes instantly. Those listening aren't connecting with you, they're evaluating how dangerous you are. Information is power, and gossip gives it away cheaply. The most strategic individuals listen far more than they speak. They collect data without contributing noise. This makes people uneasy in your presence, in a good way. Silence turns you into an unknown variable. And unknown variables command caution. Never attack reputations with words. If action is required, let results speak. Silence denies enemies the satisfaction of knowing they affected you. And indifference hurts more than insults ever could. Explaining your philosophy weakens it. The moment you declare your values publicly, you trap yourself. People wait for you to fail so they can discredit the entire identity you announced. Announced discipline invites scrutiny. Quiet discipline invites curiosity. Let behavior raise questions. Let consistency answer them. The strongest beliefs don't need defense, they need embodiment. When you live your standards instead of advertising them, people notice the difference without being told. This keeps you flexible, adaptable, and untouchable. Words create expectations. Actions create authority. If you want influence, stop convincing and start demonstrating. Because the moment people ask how you stay so composed, you've already won. The need for approval is the deepest leash. From childhood, you're trained to perform for praise. But adults who still seek validation never fully own themselves. When you adjust opinions to be liked or fish for reactions, you hand control outward. Confidence reverses the dynamic. The moment you stop trying to impress, people start paying attention. Validation always flows upward. Those who don't seek it are assumed to possess it. Praise and criticism are equally manipulative. Both attempt to steer behavior. Immunity to both creates freedom. Measure yourself privately. Did you act according to your standards? If yes, external noise becomes irrelevant. If not, applause becomes meaningless. Self-containment is the foundation of authority. Public vulnerability is often mistaken for courage. In reality, it's exposure. Sharing wounds openly doesn't invite empathy, it invites exploitation. Hierarchies don't reward emotional transparency, they reward stability. There is a place for vulnerability, but it's private and earned. The world isn't a therapy room. When you reveal insecurities casually, you hand others a blueprint for control. What hurts you today becomes a weapon tomorrow. Healing happens away from spectators. Strength is displayed afterward. Scars teach. Open wounds beg. If you want respect, appear whole, even while rebuilding. Protection isn't dishonesty. It's survival. And those who survive long enough eventually lead. When you stop leaking information, silence expands around you. At first, people feel unsettled. They poke. They test. They miss the old version of you, the predictable one. Hold steady. Silence creates gravity. Without constant self-disclosure, others project significance onto you. You observe more. You react less. The game becomes visible. You begin noticing how often others seek approval, overshare, or self-sabotage. Awareness sharpens. Control follows. By removing access, you remove manipulation points. Smooth surfaces can't be grabbed, and those who can't grab you start treating you differently, carefully, respectfully, sometimes fearfully. That shift isn't accidental. It's earned. Power isn't about domination. It's about autonomy. The ability to move through chaos without being dragged into it. When you speak less, explain less, and react less, you reclaim energy. That energy turns inward. And that's where the real challenge begins. Silence removes distraction. Without noise, internal patterns surface. Doubt. Impulses. Old habits. This is why most people avoid stillness, they fear what rises in it. But mastery isn't external. It's internal order. If you can't govern your own thoughts, no strategy will save you. External discipline fails without internal command, and that brings us to a harder truth most people never confront. Once the world no longer has access to your emotions, you are left alone with them. That solitude is uncomfortable. But it's necessary. Without constant validation, you must define yourself. Without performance, you face reality. This is where most people retreat, back into noise, drama, and exposure. Don't. This is the forge. A quiet mind becomes sharp. An ordered inner world produces calm action. You stop reacting to perceived slights. You stop chasing recognition. You move deliberately. Others feel it without understanding why. Presence replaces performance, and presence doesn't need explanation. But maintaining it requires discipline very few are willing to develop. Discipline isn't intensity. It's consistency without witnesses. It's doing the work without announcing it. Training when no one knows. Improving without documentation. This is why silence is powerful, it removes external reward. What remains is character. When motivation fades, structure carries you. And over time, structure becomes identity. People notice change they can't trace. That mystery amplifies respect. Anyone can be impressive briefly. Few can be solid quietly. And solidity reshapes how the world responds to you. Doors open without asking. Conversations shift. Authority is assumed, but this only works if you resist the urge to explain the transformation. Explanations weaken perception. The more you justify yourself, the more people feel entitled to judge. Strong individuals don't over-contextualize. They act, adjust, and continue. When challenged, they respond with clarity, not defensiveness. Emotional neutrality unsettles aggressive personalities. They expect resistance or submission. Calm denies both. This forces them to confront themselves. Most can't. The interaction ends in your favor without escalation. This is strategic restraint. You don't win by overpowering, you win by outlasting. And those who outlast shape environments. But restraint is misunderstood until its effects become undeniable. As you change, some relationships will strain. People comfortable with the old version of you may feel threatened. Your silence removes their influence. Your boundaries expose their expectations. This isn't betrayal, it's evolution. Don't explain it. Explanations invite debate. Let behavior speak. Those aligned will adapt. Those dependent will drift. Authority always comes with distance. Familiarity breeds entitlement. Distance restores respect. This isn't loneliness, it's clarity. When access is limited, value increases. And when value increases, interactions become intentional. That's when you realize how much energy was previously wasted maintaining unnecessary closeness. With fewer words spoken, observation sharpens. You notice patterns others miss. Who reacts emotionally? Who seeks approval? Who leaks insecurity disguised as humor? This awareness isn't for manipulation, it's for navigation. Knowing where people stand allows you to move without friction. You stop arguing with emotional people. You stop explaining to those committed to misunderstanding. Efficiency replaces effort. Calm replaces chaos. This is how influence works quietly. You don't force outcomes, you position yourself so outcomes favor you. And positioning requires patience, something very rare in a world addicted to immediacy. Patience compounds power. Quick reactions burn energy. Delayed responses preserve it. When you don't rush to speak, others fill the silence, often revealing more than intended. Information flows towards stillness. This gives you leverage without confrontation. You become the reference point. Decisions feel heavier when you're present. Absence becomes noticeable. This isn't accidental. It's the result of disciplined restraint repeated daily. The world teaches you to react instantly. Power teaches you to wait. And those who wait control tempo, and you control outcomes without appearing to try. Eventually, people stop trying to provoke you. They stop fishing for validation. They sense boundaries without being told. Respect becomes automatic. This is the shift most people want but few earn. It doesn't come from dominance or charisma. It comes from consistency. Emotional consistency. Behavioral consistency. Silence-backed consistency. You're no longer easy to read, easy to use, or easy to dismiss. That's authority. But authority brings a final challenge, responsibility. Because once you are no longer reactive, every move becomes deliberate. And deliberate action carries weight. With control comes isolation. Not abandonment, space. The space to think clearly. The space to choose intentionally. Many confuse this with coldness. It isn't. It's focus. You stop participating in chaos because chaos no longer serves you. This doesn't make you better than others, it makes you responsible for yourself. And self-responsibility is rare. That rarity creates leadership naturally. People look to those who aren't consumed by noise. Calm becomes contagious. Stability attracts trust. But maintaining this state requires vigilance. Old habits always attempt to return. The temptation to explain, share, or react will resurface, especially when misunderstood. Resist it. Misunderstanding isn't a threat unless you make it one. Let outcomes correct perception. Time favors consistency. Those who hold their frame don't chase narratives. They let narratives catch up. This requires confidence without applause. Progress without witnesses. That's the price. And it's worth paying. Because once your identity is rooted internally, external pressure loses its grip. You move freely. Others feel anchored. That contrast defines leadership in any environment. This approach isn't about becoming distant or cruel. It's about becoming unreadable. Unreadable people aren't easily manipulated. They aren't easily categorized. They aren't easily dismissed. When you stop offering emotional access to everyone, those who earn it value it more. Depth replaces quantity. Quality replaces noise. And life simplifies. Decisions become clearer. Relationships become intentional. Energy stops leaking. You no longer feel drained after interactions. That alone changes everything. But there's one final realization that ties it all together. Once external noise fades, internal discipline becomes non-negotiable. You can't hide behind performance anymore. Your thoughts shape your reality. Self-mastery replaces image management. This is where most transformations fail, because internal order is harder than public performance. But those who succeed here become unshakable. They don't need to control others because they control themselves. And self-control is the highest form of power. When you govern your inner world, the outer world responds accordingly. Not immediately, but inevitably. If you stop leaking intention, emotion, validation, and vulnerability, something profound happens. You stop being predictable. You stop being reactive. You stop being accessible to manipulation. The world grows quieter around you. And in that quiet, you become solid. Not loud. Not flashy. Solid. People treat you differently without knowing why. That's real influence. Not forced. Not begged for. Earned through restraint. The question now isn't whether this works. It's whether you're willing to endure the silence long enough to let it change you. Because once you do, there's no going back.